Hello everybody, back again here for another vlog a day, and today is Saturday the 14th, and today was a beautiful day outside weather-wise, probably one of the best days we've had this year. It's absolutely gorgeous. I got up way damn early. I think I was up at like 3 o'clock this morning. I got to bed. It was after 1 when I finally got to sleep. Couldn't sleep, it was ridiculous. Got up, headed up to Ottumwa, my buddy's place. We talked about meeting in another town halfway between because he was heading that direction, but I got up early enough and got around, said to heck with it. Went up to his place, was there well before 5, basically packed up in the truck with his dad and myself, and we headed over to Indianola, which is where his first triathlon was going to be. So he ended up up there for his first sprint try. So it's just a 500 meter or 550 meter, I don't remember now, swim in the lake, and then basically it was an out and back course, a 18-mile bike ride, I think, like that. It was a short little bike ride, and then a 3.89 mile run, so under 4 mile run. So we headed there, got there to that. He was super nervous. He'd only swam open water once in his life, which was that same lake. On a Wednesday, he went out just a little bit past where he couldn't touch and started swimming lengthwise with the beach, just past the swim buoys, and was doing good. Everything felt fine until he went to make the turn. And when he went to turn around, because it's an out and back course, he went to make the turn, and every other time in his life he's ever swam, when he made a turn, it's been in a pool, grabs the wall, turns around, kicks back off, and heads back across the pool. This time he went to make the turn and didn't have a wall to grab a hold of, and took a little bit of water, went to reach down with his feet to touch, couldn't touch, and panicked and damn near thought he was going to die. That was Wednesday. So we're up here today, Saturday, and he's still nervous as shit. He's absolutely freaking out. The whole triathlon was run screwy. It's a charity for a fire department type thing, but it's just there's a bunch of stuff they were screwed up. 7:30, absolute guaranteed, had to be there for the meeting. If you weren't at the meeting, you couldn't race the race. They had no idea who was and wasn't there, so that wouldn't have been a case then. That 7:30 meeting prompt starts 7:30, absolutely cannot be late too. So we got there like 6:30 or so to make sure we got parking, make sure we got all the bike put away, all that kind of stuff. And that meeting started at 9 minutes after 8. Meeting went on for way too long. The race started at 8, by the way. The race started, I don't know, closer to 8:30. Absolutely just everything was back behind. They had taken a fire hose and stretched it out the length of the lake, or length of the swim out and back, and inflated it full of air, which was a cool idea. I actually think it ended up screwing up a lot of people, though, because my buddy was swimming good, doing great, everything was fine, had great motion. He kind of didn't head out with the big group, but he headed out in the group out. And as he was swimming along, he was doing great, everything's hunky-dory. He sighted, realized he was past the buoy where he couldn't touch. He panicked and headed straight for the fire hose, and basically the rest of the time never came within 2 feet of that fire hose, constantly. So because the fire hose wasn't a straight line, it kind of drooped like a snake in the wind. He ended up swimming probably another 10%, so he swam like an extra 50 yards, I would say, probably. And that's just ridiculous to think about the fact that he wasted all the extra distance there. But he kept grabbing the hose and that kind of stuff. And I think the hose, there was, I'd say over half the people were up against the hose. It was ridiculous. Absolutely horrible. And I think that hose gave them all that false sense of security. Like my buddy said, all he had to do was flip on his back and kick with his feet, and he would have been fine, would have stayed afloat. But he never did that really because of the fact that he had that hose there to grab a hold of. And it was a mess. It absolutely was. He finally came out of the water. I thought I missed him. The first few guys came out, and he wasn't going to be in that group. He's a good swimmer in the pool. And I was in there taking a bunch of pictures and stuff. I saw herds of people coming out, and I never saw him. I thought I just about gave up because there was hardly anybody left in the water. And then I happened to spot him, and he finally got out of the water. There's 5 people behind him, is all it was. So he went from dead even start to 6th from last. So he was only, like I said, only 5 people behind him. Absolutely he got his butt kicked. I grabbed a little video of that. I'm not sure I'm going to put it up. It's kind of embarrassing. I might put it up. He was talking stuff about how it was just a shitty swim. His heart rate was crazy. He was freaking out. He was just panicking. It was just hyperventilating type thing almost. Got him up to the bike finally and stuff. Everything was doing decent. He kicked ass on the bike. He passed the shit out of people on the bike. Like I said, there was only 5 people behind him on the swim, and when they finally announced the halfway point, which would be out to Milo, when they announced the halfway point, the last bike made the turn. It was, I'd say, minute 2 minutes the most, he come whipping in. So he had made up that much time on the bike ride. He kicked ass on the bike ride. And his brand new tri-bike, the chain fell off it twice. He's pissed off as shit. It's been in the shop 3 times now. He's only had it like 2.5, 3 weeks like that. He's only got to ride it like 5 times. Pissed off as shit. He gets back off the bike, changes over to his running gear. I gave him a hard time about asking him to finish my cigar for the run, kind of helped refresh him a little bit. Kind of laughed and joked. He took off on the run, and he passed, I think he said 5 more people on the run, and he didn't get passed by anybody on the bike. Nobody on the bike passed him, except when his chain popped off. A group of guys passed him. He passed them again, and then chain fell off. They passed him. He passed him again. So he ended up passing one group of guys 3 times. It was kind of funny the way it just all fell in that same little group there. But on the run, he got passed by a chick near the end, and it was kind of funny because the fact that he just passed a guy in his age group, and he thought that guy was coming up on him. And every time he'd look back over his shoulder to see who it was in a weird turn of the course, and he couldn't tell if it was that guy he just passed or somebody else coming up. And he's like, holy crap. So he started speeding up, really trying to stay ahead of that guy because it was an age group guy, and he didn't want to fall back in another spot in the age group. And it was funny and crap because he finally, that person got right up on him, he looked over and he realized it was a female, and he tried to race her a little bit. Then he realized she's not in his age group, she's female, she's not in the same deal, don't matter. So she let him go, or he let her go. And then afterwards, he finally finished and stuff. I think his hunky-dory is good. I went ahead and basically, he pointed her out. So I went over and congratulated her for whipping my buddy in the run. I kind of told her, so next time if you see him out there, just smack him on the ass and you run by and tell him he's got chicked. So she was laughing and joking, had a great time there. We hung around forever to get the results. Their timing was all messed up. Their list of stuff and the computer was all messed up. They had no idea what was going on. We were kind of pissed off. There was no finishers medals, which was ridiculous. It was a pretty pricey little entry for a little try, which it goes to the fire department, so I understand that. But you could have made an option for like $10 extra to have a medal, because there was a bunch of people there. I'd say over half the people I talked to were first-time triathletes here, and to have a medal from that would have been, just awesome to have. So who knows there? We'll see what happens. He was kind of pissed off at that. We did a raffle thing. We ended up winning like 3 different things in the raffle. That was cool, but we spent more money probably than what the stuff was worth in the long run. But they were saying how you didn't have to be present to win, write down your name and phone number on the ticket. And there was 4 different times I watched them call a name, and I was standing right there by the people calling the name with my dog. And basically they would holler our name, they'd holler it out again, nobody would show up, and they'd look over, and then she goes, oh, we can't ship that, because it was like a big fancy basket with like clean or makeup thing. And then she would just basically pretend to pull out another ticket, and she would name off her best friend who happened to be standing right next to her, or the guy over here from the fire department stuff. And there was 4 different times I watched them give away shit to themselves, and that just chapped my ass. They could have very easily said, hey, we'll ship this out to them, blah blah whatever, and hit it better if they were going to lie and cheat. But don't tell me they'll mail this stuff to me, I don't have to be present to win. That's fine if you don't want to pay the shipping, but at least call me and say, hey, you won this basket full of, cleaning supplies or where the hell it was and stuff. Do you want to stop by the fire department sometime in the next 10 days to pick it up? That would have been a much better way to go. So I've decided if we go back, which I don't know if my buddy ever wants to go back there again or not, it's just so screwy. There's no chance in hell we're buying raffle tickets. I'm not big into people cheating and stealing. That drives me batshit crazy. And then on top of it, it was so poorly run that I was not a real big fan of the whole concept. And no finisher's medal is a really big thing. I personally don't give a shit that much about it, but a lot of people out there do. So anyway, that was pretty much what we got done there. Finally headed back home. I thought we were heading up to Des Moines to basically chauffeur around my buddy's kid and his wife for a little bit. Turned out he didn't need to go up there. So we ended up, I was looking forward to running Des Moines. I was going to run the trails and stuff around Des Moines, which had I known we weren't going there, I probably would have ran around the lake there in Indianola instead, but found out afterwards we weren't going to Des Moines, so no big deal. We headed on home, hung out there, had a few cigars, shot the shit for a while, and then I headed down to the dog park, met some new people, met a couple with a new dog they got in December that they never socialized their dogs. They weren't sure how he was going to react. I told them they got along to the fence, bring him over. Bruce is a great, ambassador for that kind of thing. So they brought him over, had a great time. Everything was all hunky-dory good, and then from there, basically headed on home and basically watched a little Netflix. I'm going to crash. I am just exhausted, tired. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.